So you want to learn how to use dinos after all the support we've gotten from wild survivors? Well, you've come to the right place. This is the ultimate combo guide for how to use dinos in the June 2023 competitive Yu-Gi-Oh format. Let's jump into it. What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, and welcome to our competitive Yu-Gi-Oh video. This is going to be the ultimate combo guide for how to use dinos post wild survivors in the June 2023 competitive Yu-Gi-Oh format. The deck is absolutely insane, and honestly, there is so many plays that this deck can produce. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 different combos that you have to know, as well as a nice test hand for you for this new format. So if you guys are excited for this video, then do me a favor and smash the like button, because if we hit 75 likes on the video, I will bring you guys a live battle with this deck so you can see it in action. And of course, guys, make sure to subscribe as well. We are on the road to 600 subscribers, and I would really appreciate you guys joining us on the ride. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into it. All right, everyone, so here we are. We're going to cover 3 basic combos that are really important for the brand new way to play dinosaurs in June 2023. If you guys missed the deck profile portion of the deck profile video, then make sure to go and check it out. The link is in the top right corner of the screen, so of course make sure to check that out, and let me know if you watched it already down in the comments below. But let's go ahead and jump into it. We have 3 combos, starting off with Baby Ceratosaurus and Ground Xeno. We have Oviraptor, Baby, and any other dinosaur monster. It can be anything. If it is solely an Oviraptor, that's like the worst situation, but if it is literally anything else, the combo gets even wilder. And then we have our Lost World, our Ground Xeno, which are both 3-ofs in the deck, and then any of your babies. So either the 3 Petit Pteranodons or the 3 Baby Ceratosaurus can get the job done for this combo as well. Now let's go ahead and jump into starting off with our combo with Baby Ceratosaurus and Ground Xeno. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the first combo, Ground Xeno and Baby Ceratosaurus. We're going to go ahead and activate Ground Xeno, which allows us to add a Dinosaur Null monster or a Dinosaur Tuner from our deck to our hand. That's going to be Megalosmasher X. It could also be Frostosaurus. Either one works depending on what you want your end board to look like. So just make the adjustment if you want a different end board. But for now, we're going to go and grab Megalosmasher X. With this effect, then, we will always activate the second part of Ground Xeno, destroying a card in our hand. It will destroy the Baby Ceratosaurus, which will trigger its effect in the graveyard. I'll try and move the graveyard a bit more into sight over here. So Baby Ceratosaurus will trigger. It will allow us to special summon from our deck, of course, the one, the only Soul-Eating Oviraptor. This card is basically a must combo, a bread and butter combo to have off the Baby Ceratosaurus. Off the Oviraptor, excuse me, we're going to go ahead and use this effect to add Petit Pteranodon to our hand. We're then going to normal summon the Petit Pteranodon and activate the effect of our Soul-Eating Oviraptor to destroy our Petit Pteranodon on our side of the field, and then special summon back our Baby Ceratosaurus from the graveyard. This will trigger our Petit Pteranodon, which is going to be absolutely amazing, allowing us to special summon out the copy of our Scrap Raptor. We're now going to use the effect of our Scrap Raptor, destroying the Baby Ceratosaurus on our side of the field, to be able to then to be able to grant us rather an additional normal summon of a Scrap monster this turn. Then, because Baby Ceratosaurus was destroyed and sent to the graveyard, we can activate its effect to be able to special summon from our deck another copy of the Baby Ceratosaurus. We're now going to go ahead and link the 2 copies of our level 4s over here, our Raptor and our Oviraptor, and both the Raptors I should say, into our copy of the Scrap Wyvern. Wyvern is very important for this combo. Moves a little bit lower so you can see it better. This card is insane. Here we're going to use this effect, targeting our Scrap Raptor in our graveyard to special summon it. We're then going to destroy a card that we control, and we're going to destroy our Scrap Raptor. That'll give us 2 triggers here. The first trigger is going to be, we have 2 options. We have our Scrap Wyvern and our Scrap Raptor. We're going to use Chainlink 1 Scrap Wyvern, Chainlink 2 Scrap Raptor. So Scrap Raptor on Chainlink 2, we'll be able to search a non-tuner Scrap monster, being our Scrap Chimera. We're then going to use the Scrap Wyvern, which will special summon a Scrap monster from our deck, in this case being the second copy of the Scrap Raptor, and then will force us to destroy a card in the field, and we're going to go ahead and destroy the Baby Ceratosaurus. Off of the Baby Ceratosaurus, we're actually going to go ahead and special summon out a copy of Miscellaneousaurus. Yeah, it's actually not going to be in our hands. It's going to be directly summoned to the field in this case here, because we want it as an extender in this combo. We're now going to go ahead and normal summon our Scrap Chimera to be able to revive back our Scrap Raptor. Remember, this was our second normal summon by the effect of Scrap Raptor because it destroyed a card by its effect. We're now going to perform a link summon by linking off our Wyvern and our Chimera into a copy of the really powerful Cross Sheath. This card is so much better in this strategy here because we now play access to Ground Xeno, and we have an amazing fusion monster we can go into to give us extra value, which is really, really strong. We're now going to go ahead and perform a synchro summon with Miscellaneous Source and the Scrap Raptor to be able to get us into a copy of the Borreload Savage Dragon. What this is going to do is, number one, when it's summoned, we can target the link monster in our graveyard. In this case, it's going to be the only one we have, being the Scrap Wyvern, and we can basically equip it, giving it, in this case, 2 negates because we have 2 arrows, 2 link arrows. I'll put this over here because the glare is kind of killer there. Either way, so this has 2 negates now for 2 Omni negates, which is amazing. Once that is done, we are going to be able to go ahead and use the effect of our Ground Xeno, which will allow us to perform Fusion Summon. So we're going to banish our Ground Xeno. I'll put it just up over there to show us banished. And we're going to be able to then Fusion Summon with our Scrap Raptor and our Megalo Smasher X in our hand, and be able to go into our Transcendosaurus Gigantozalor, which will be in the same, or in a zone that is pointed to by the cross sheet. You have to have it pointing to that zone, or else the effects won't work. We're going to be able to do Chainlink 1 Gigantozalor to be able to target a dinosaur in our graveyard and add it to our hand. Chainlink 2 is going to be Cross. You'll be able to special summon a level 4 lower monster from our graveyard, which is obviously an insanely powerful effect. Now, depending on if you want a rank 4 or a rank 6, you have to choose 1 to add and 1 to summon. But basically, we're going to go ahead and summon the Petit Pteranodon, in this case over here, off of the cross sheet. We're going to be adding a Babysaurus to hand. Like I said, you can do the other way around, depending on if you want to end on a rank 4 or a rank 6 Exceed. Okay, really, it doesn't matter which one you want to go for, but in this case here, we have Petit Pteranodon as our option. We're then going to use the effect of our Miscellaneous Source in our graveyard by banishing itself to be able to special summon from our deck a copy of the Animadorned Argosaur, which is, again, an insanely powerful card because what it will let us do is destroy the Petit Pteranodon on our side of the field and allow us to search for our Double Evolution Pill. The Double Evolution Pill is one of the best cards in the deck that will get you access to your big daddy dinos, which are super powerful. Because Petit Pteranodon was destroyed, we can use this effect to be able to special summon a new card to the strategy, the Xeno Meteorus. This card is also insane. We have so much that we can do here, but before we use the effect of Xenometeorosis, we're going to actually perform a link. So we're going to link off our Animadorned Argosaur quickly into a copy of Link Karibo. And the reason why we want this is to get an extra non-dino in our graveyard, because we're going to link off now 1, 2, 3, 4 into a copy of Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. And this is going to give us even more negates on our side of the field. It says 3 negate Appaloosa, a 2 negate Borreload Savage Dragon, which is crazy. We're now going to go ahead and perform our effect of the Xenometeorosis by destroying our Babysaurus. We can then special summon a level, well, not level, a normal monster, from a normal dinosaur monster from our deck. In this case, it'll be the Frostosaurus, which is amazing. And off of the effect of the Babysaurus, we're going to go ahead and grab something. In this case, we'll do something like our Giant Rex. You know what? We're actually not going to go Giant Rex here. We're actually going to go with our copy of Babysaurus again, because in this specific version of the combo, we're actually not going to be reviving back our Miscellaneous going to another rank 4. We're just going to go ahead and straight overlay our Frostosaurus and our Xenometeorosis into a copy of Evil Zor Solda, which is basically a walking trap hole, essentially for special summon monsters, which is really, really powerful, not once per turn by detaching 1 material. If you want to go into the new Transcendosaurus Drillignathus, this one here, instead of the Solda, then instead of going Babysaurus, then you would go for the Giant Rex, because you can bring back the Miscellaneous Source and go for like an Evil Zor Lagia or a Dolka or an Abyss Dweller as well, which is also really, really powerful. And if you don't want to go into Solda, and if you have access to Ultimate Zolkin and a Crystal Wing Single Dragon, you can use that as well, which is very powerful. So once we get into this situation here, we're going to activate our copy of the Double Evolution Pill. We're going to go through our graveyard and we're going to banish our copy of the, we're going to do the Link Karibo, and we're also going to do our, where is my Animadorned Argosaur? There you are. So we can get rid of both of these cards here. I'll put the banish zone just up over here, as I completely forget where I had it before, but we're going to pop it right over there, and that will allow us to special summon from our deck a copy of the Ultimate Tyranno, which we will put below the Appaloosa. The reason for that is just in case you are running Pentastag, you want to have the chance to have it point. You don't want to be also weak to something like a relinquished Anima. So right now, we have Double Evolution Pill that got us our UCT for the Book of Moon. We have Babysaurus, which is great because if we pop the Babysaurus for the effect of UCT, we get to search and plus off Babysaurus to search into our Oviraptor, get us additional search. We have the trap holes in Evil Zor Solda. We have our Omni Negate over here. We have our Monster Negates over there. We have so many interruptions with this board. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interruptions, disruptions. This deck is crazy. Our next combo is going to be a 2.5 card combo, Oviraptor, Babysaurus, and any other dinosaur monster. Could be Giant Rex, Miscellaneous, whatever it is. And like I said before, whatever this dinosaur monster is, if it's something other than Ovi, it improves your combo significantly. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the obvious play here is going to be to normal summon the Soling Oviraptor, and we're going to use this effect to go ahead and add, obviously, our copy of Miscellaneousaurus, which is, probably the best card in the deck. We're going to immediately activate the effect of Miscellaneousaurus, sending it to the graveyard to be able to protect our dinosaur monsters from activated effects during the main phase. We're then going to go ahead and use the effect of Miscellaneousaurus. By banishing it, it will allow us to special summon from our deck a level 1 dinosaur monster, and in this case is going to be, of course, the Animadorn Archosaur, which its effect will activate, allowing us to destroy a dinosaur monster other than itself in our hand or field to be able to search for a pill, spell, or trap, basically. So that'll destroy our baby Ceratosaurus, sending it to the graveyard, and allow us to search for the double evolution pill. We're then going to use the effect of Baby Ceratosaurus when it was sent to the graveyard to be able to special summon, once again, a copy of the Baby Ceratosaurus. We're now going to perform one of the most broken combos this deck can do, which is going to be Oviraptor, destroy baby, summon back the baby. So we're going to do the old switcheroo. Oviraptor destroys this one, sends it to graveyard, special summons back the other one. You cannot special summon back the same one. Keep that in mind, or else it will not actually trigger its effect. So keep that, again, it is very, very important. And that will allow us to special summon out from our deck a copy of the Scrap Raptor, if I can find one. There we go. So Scrap Raptor is going to be summoned. We're then going to perform a link summon with our Animadorn Archosaur into a copy of the Link Karibo. And the reason we're doing this is so we have access to a non-dinosaur monster. We're going to use the effect of the Scrap Raptor to destroy the baby Ceratosaurus on our side of the field, and that will allow us to make another special summon of a level 4 or lower dinosaur monster. In this case, we're not going to actually go for one of the baby Ceratosaurus. We're going to go for a Petite Pteranodon instead. Now we're going to be able to perform another Link Summon with Link Karibo and Scrap Raptor. Keep in mind we have an additional normal summon of a Scrap monster because of the effect of our Scrap Raptor destroying the baby Ceratosaurus in that case. So now we're going into our Scrap Wyvern. We're going to use the effect of Scrap Wyvern to return our Scrap Raptor to our side of the field, destroying the Scrap Raptor, and then we have a few chain links here. We're going to use Chainlink 1 Wyvern to be able to special summon a Scrap monster from our deck, Chainlink 2 Scrap Raptor to be able to search for a non-tuner Scrap monster. So we're going to go ahead and search for our copy of the Scrap Chimera to our hand, and we're going to special summon our Scrap Raptor. Now, because this card was, Scrap Monster was special summoned to our side of the field while Scrap Wyvern's on the field, then we can actually destroy a card on the field. In this case, we're going to destroy our Petite Pteranodon. Petite will be sent to the grave by that effect and allows us to summon out, of course, the copy of the Xenometeorus, which is one of the best new cards that the deck could have possibly asked for. We're then going to normal summon our Scrap Chimera, triggering its effect to be able to revive back our Scrap Raptor, and now we have a full board here full of tuners and non-tuners, but we're going to take this time to go ahead and use the Scrap Raptor, Scrap Chimera, and the Scrap Wyvern and go right away into our copy of Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, and once again, it will have 3 negates on it, which is amazing. We're now going to perform a synchro summon of Scrap Raptor and Oviraptor into a copy, once again, of the Borreload Savage Dragon, using its effect to be able to give us the Wyvern and giving it 2 negates, which is, again, amazing, and half the attack of the Wyvern. We're going to then use the effect of Xenometeorosis. Because we had to have the dinosaur, this is where the second dinosaur comes into play. We would destroy this dinosaur and we'd be able to special summon from our deck a normal monster. And again, you have a choice here. Do you want to go for a rank 6 play? You go into Frostosaurus. Do you want to go into something like a Chenging? You go into the Megalo Smasher X. In this case here, we'll go for the Megalo Smasher X because I didn't show off the Chenging yet. So we're going to go and perform a synchro summon with these 2 cards over here, allowing us to get into, of course, the one and only Chenging. Boom, there we are. We'll go put it over here. So Chenging is great because it also gives us protection. It also is going to be a big body, and it's going to be allowing us to get banishes on our opponent's turn, which is really powerful. Now, if the Soling Oviraptor was something like a Giant Rex, for example, then Double Evolution Pull gets really, really nastier. But that being said, we're just going to go ahead and activate the Double Evolution Pill. We're going to go ahead and perform a banish of the, in this case, is going to be our Scrap Chimera, and we'll banish, of course, our Animadorn Archosaur. I think the Animadorn Archosaur is kind of the least important card to have in the graveyard, so banishing that is a pretty common play. And that will allow us to special summon from our deck the copy of the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So once again, we have a really powerful board here. We have our multiple negates with the Appaloosa, we have our UCT Book of Moon, we have a Chenging here, and we have a Borreload Savage Dragon. And again, this could be a rank 6. It could be a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon if you have Ultimate Zolkin, if you're playing that engine in your extra deck as well. This is a crazy powerful combo that is really strong and doesn't really utilize any of the new cards in your opening hand. The third and final combo is going to involve Lost World, Petite Pteranodon, and Ground Zero. And it could be, again, any baby card here. It can be Baby Ceratosaurus or Petite Pteranodon. We play 6 of them, and we play 3 Ground Zeros and 3 Lost Worlds. So it's a pretty consistent combo you're going to see here. And Lost Worlds makes the deck so much better. So we're going to start by activating, of course, our copy of Lost World, which is fantastic. And we're going to activate our Ground Xeno, which allows us to search. In this case here, we're not going to search for a normal monster. We're going to search for the Xenometeorus. which will then force us to destroy a card in our hand. We're going to destroy the Petit Pteranodon, triggering the effect of Petit Pteranodon as Chainlink 1, which is a mandatory effect. And then Chainlink 2, we're actually going to use the effect of Xenometeorus. And the reason for that is because we want to chain block against Ash Blossom, because if they Ash our Petit Pteranodon, our turn kind of ends. If they want to Ash our Oviraptor's effect that we're going to summon, that's not the end of the world because we can chain block that with Lost World. There's basically options here. So Chainlink 2 resolves first, Xenometeorosis summons itself because a card was destroyed, Chainlink 1 will activate, and we're going to have Oviraptor be summoning itself to our side of the field. We're going to go Chainlink 1 Oviraptor to add a Dinosaur monster, Chainlink 2 Lost World to give our opponent a token here, which is going to be very good, and that's fantastic. We want to keep the token on their side of the field to prevent evenly matched. We want to get around that as much as we can. So Oviraptor's effect will activate and let us search for a Dinosaur monster. In this case, is going to be our copy of the Baby Sarasaurus. We're going to go ahead and normal our Baby Sarasaurus and activate the effect of Oviraptor, destroying the Baby Sarasaurus to special summon back this Petit Pteranodon. Then we're going to have the Baby Sarasaurus trigger, and that will special summon from our deck another copy of Petit Pteranodon. This is why we're going to play multiple of them, because right now we want to keep some babies in deck. Baby's the better one, Petit Pteranodon's fine, but we want to have access to them as well. Now we're going to go into our extra deck early. We're going to perform a synchro summon right now of Xenometeorosis and Oviraptor, and that's going to allow us to go into a level 10 synchro, and in this case, arguably the best synchro in the game, in Baronne de Fleur. The reason why Baronne is good is because it actually has an effect that allows us to destroy a card on the field, and we're going to go ahead and use this effect to destroy a Petit Pteranodon. That's fantastic. That card, that effect, is once per turn, but it doesn't go away like the negation effect does. So Petit effect will activate and let us special summon from our deck a copy of a level 4 or higher dinosaur monster, in this case being a Scrap Raptor. We're now going to use Scrap Raptor's effect, destroying the other Petit Pteranodon, to special summon from our deck a copy of Miscellaneousaurus. You guys can see where this is going now. We're going to go ahead and perform a link summon of Scrap Raptor and Miscellaneousaurus to go into, of course, our copy of the Scrap Wyvern, the card that is kind of in the bread and butter of this combo, holding it all together, the biggest choke point of the deck, that is for sure. We're going to use the effect of the Wyvern, bringing back the Raptor, immediately destroying the Raptor, and that'll allow us to have our Chainlinks here. Chainlink 1 will be Wyvern, Chainlink 2 will be Raptor. So Raptor will let us search for, in this case here, the Scrap Chimera, and Wyvern will activate, letting us special summon the Scrap Raptor. And that'll force us to destroy a card on the field. And in this case here, we're going to go ahead and destroy the Dura Egg token, protecting it with our Lost World. Now that Lost World has protected it, we can destroy a baby in our deck. In this case, we're going to destroy the Baby Sarasaurus, sending it to the graveyard as I hit my camera. Apologies for that. We're then going to trigger the effect of the Baby Sarasaurus, special summoning from our deck a copy of Petit Pteranodon. We're now going to go ahead and use the effect of our Miscellaneousaurus in our graveyard by banishing itself to allow us to special summon from our deck a level 1 dinosaur monster, in this case being the Animadorn Argosaur, which will use this effect to destroy the Petit Pteranodon and allow us to search for the double evolution pill. So now our hand is going to look like this. We still have the trigger now from our Petit Pteranodon here, and in this case here, you could go for a Xenometeorosis, but this combo is a little bit funky, so I actually feel like the better option is going to be for something like the Giant Rex in this case. We're now going to perform a link summon of our Animadorn Argosaur to go into our Link Karibo, because we want to have access to a non-dinosaur monster in our graveyard. We're then going to perform a link summon here, 1, 2, 3, 4, into, of course, the Appaloosa. Now keep in mind, Appaloosa does technically have 3 negates, however, because of the attack drop of Lost World, it actually only have 2 negates, so keep that in mind, that is very important. We're now going to go ahead and normal summon our Scrap Chimera, which will allow us to special summon back to our side of the field a copy of our Scrap Raptor. This will let us perform an XC summon. We're going to go ahead and XCs right away with these 2 here into a copy of Abyss Dweller. Now, why am I going to Dweller here? Well, I can't really go into Logia or Dolka because they require dinos, and I'll be honest, I don't really think we have to use those cards here. We have a really strong board brewing right now, so we're going to go ahead and activate our double evolution pill, banishing in this case here our Giant Rex and our Link Karibo, which will allow us to special summon from our deck a copy of the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. We're going to have the Giant Rex effect triggers because it was banished. It can special summon itself back to our side of the field. And then we're going to perform we can do a synchro summon into a Warlord Savage Dragon and get a Scrap Wyvern. We can go into a Logia, we can go into a Dolka, but I am going to go ahead and just grab a synchro here directly into our Warlord Savage Dragon, using the effect of the Warlord Savage Dragon to be able to get the Scrap Wyvern as an equip and giving it 2 negates. So again, we have 1 negate here, we have 2 negates here, we have 2 and a half, we'll call it, negates here. We have a Abyss Dweller protecting us as well, and we have, of course, the UCT, which can pop something like the Dweller or a Spent Appaloosa to be able to get a Book of Moon on our opponent's side of the field, and they cannot even go for something like Evenly Matched against us because they have the token on their side of the field. This board is crazy. All right, so we're shuffling off the deck here. We're going to try and end up with a nice combo for you guys and see what we can do in terms of a playable hand. So we're going to go ahead and cut the deck quickly. So boom, 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 and we're going to go ahead and draw our starting 5. Imperm, Xenometeorus, Double Evolution Pill, Baby Ceresaurus, Raptor. Wow, this hand is pretty good. I see the only bad part of this hand is going to be the Double Evolution Pill, to be honest. So let's go ahead and start off with a quick normal summon of the Raptor using its effect to add from our deck to our hand our copy of the Miscellaneousaurus, which is going to be somewhere in this deck here. There we go. We're then going to activate the effect of Miscellaneousaurus, discarding to the grave to protect our dinosaurs from activated effects during the main phase. We're then going to banish it to be able to search for, not search, but special summon rather, the Animadorn Archosaur from our deck directly, which is going to allow us to destroy the Baby Ceresaurus in our hand, and then search for a Double Evolution Pill directly from our deck, and that's going to get us to a second copy of the pill, if I can find it here. This pill here, again, this is why you don't really want to have it on your opening hand, because you now have 2 cards, and they kind of do the same thing. They're once per turn, all that is what it is. Anyways, we have Baby Ceresaurus effect, which is going to trigger, which allows us to special summon a Dinosaur monster level 4 or lower from the deck, which are going to go ahead and activate right now, and that'll allow us to special summon from the deck a copy of, surprise, surprise, Baby Ceresaurus. We're now going to go ahead and link off our Animadorn Archosaur here. I want to get rid of this off my side of the field into our Link Karibo, so we have access to a non-dinosaur monster. We're going to use the Raptor destroying the baby to summon back the other baby, so we have a nice little switcheroo there, triggering the Baby Ceresaurus to let us summon from the deck. In this case, it'll be a copy of the Scrap Raptor once again. Now we're going to go ahead and use the effect of Raptor, destroying the Baby Ceresaurus to be able to special summon a cop, or to give us an additional normal summon, I should say. Baby Ceresaurus will activate, allowing us to special summon from our deck. We're going to go ahead and summon out, in this case, it'll be a copy of the Petite Pteranodon, because I don't want to run out of babies. That's a pretty big deal in this deck. We're then going to perform a Link Summon, Link Karibo, and Scrap Raptor into our copy of the Scrap Wyvern. We're then going to use the effect of the Wyvern, bringing back our Scrap Raptor, destroying the Scrap Raptor, chainlink 1 Wyvern to summon from deck, chainlink 2 Raptor to add a non-tuner Scrap monster to hand. So we're going to add our Scrap Chimera to hand. We're going to summon from our deck another copy of the Scrap Raptor here. And if you want to play Scrap Golem, more power to you. I don't think it's very necessary here, but it is what it is. Scrap Raptor, here you are. So now we are forced to destroy a card on the field, and we're going to destroy our Petite Pteranodon. Destroying this is going to allow us to summon from our deck. We're going to do a copy of, in this case, I'm going to do Giant Rex. If I didn't have Meteorosis, I'd probably use Meteorus to be able to destroy that, or summon that rather, but I'm very happy with Giant Rex in this case instead. Now, looking at this board here, it looks pretty unassuming here. We have quite a bit that we can do. So because we destroy the Petite Pteranodon, I should have done this before. Chainlink 2 is going to be the summoning of the Xenometeorosis, and then Giant Rex will trigger, will be summoned rather. So that's what we want to do instead. But in this case here, we can now perform a few synchros. We're going to go into our Borlos Savage, we can go into our Barone, we can go to our Chengi, we can go into our Rank boards, we can go to Appaloosa. There's a lot that we can do. What I'm going to do in this situation here actually is I'm going to perform a quick little link summon. I'm going to link with the Giant Rex, the Scrap Raptor, and the Scrap Wyvern, and I'm going to go into the Appaloosa. And the reason why I want to do that is because I need to have some zones available for this combo. So we're going to now use the effect, we're going to normal summon rather, our Scrap Chimera to be able to summon back our Scrap Raptor, which is going to be very powerful. And then we can go ahead and perform a Synchro Summon, or we can use the effect of our Xenometeorosis to destroy a Dino and special summon another Dino from the deck if we want to go into our rank 6 plays. I'll be honest, we could. I don't think we really need to in this case. So in this case here, instead, I'm going to go for a Synchro Summon. I'm going to Synchro with these two over here into our copy of Barone. So Barone coming out is going to be very strong, of course, put us in attack position. And now we have ample opportunity to go ahead and go into a rank 4. So we're going to go ahead and go into a rank 4 here. I'm going to go into the, actually, you know what? I'm not going to go with this one over here. I'm actually going to perform, do the Double Evolution Peel here. I'm going to banish my Link Karibo, and I'm going to banish my Giant Rex, and that's going to allow me to go into a copy of the UCT. Where are you, UCT? There you are. We're going to go into our UCT here. Okay, I don't want to put in this zone here because I don't want to get relinquished Animud. That would suck. We're then going to go ahead and use the effect of the Giant Rex, bringing it back to our side of the field, and we're going to then be able to perform an XC summon. I'm going to go with the Raptor and the Giant Rex, and I'm going to go into, in this case here, I actually want to go into the Lagia. And the reason why I want Lagia is twofold. It is a essentially a Solemn Judgment, which is great, and we have monster negates already in Appaloosa. I don't want to be forced to use Barone negates on something like an Evenly Matched and just lose it, so I want to have 2 Omni negates there, which is very, very strong. And still, we have our Infinite Impermanence that we can set. We have follow-up with Double Ocean Pill for the next turn, and our UCT has a live pop in the Scrap Chimera, which is also really good. So leaving Scrap Chimera is not always the best decision. I'm sure I could have made this combo a little bit better here, but it is still a really scary end board nonetheless. So guys, that is going to be it for this combo guide. If you guys enjoyed this video, then do me a favor and smash the like button, because at 75 likes, I will bring you guys a live duel with this combo and tell you what we are doing with that battle. And of course, guys, subscribe to the channel as well. We are on the road to 600 subs. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time.